This is the PowerPoint presentation that was used to show the academic vocabulary instruction. This goal was focusing on cross-curricular instruction using academic vocabulary. So we have a district used reading program that does not have many visuals or in-depth complex academic language. So I created these PowerPoints to be used along with the text that was being used in the classroom. So I'm going to go through the PowerPoint and show you how it was used. So this one was on a informative text called A True Book Oceans by Darlene Still. And this was the first slide. Moving on to the next slide. We have the vocabulary. So as you can see here, we have the vocabulary words. And then here, this was kind of like the lesson plan that you just previously looked at. They go through and rate their words super quick. This is about a 60-second activity. So they would look at the word shallow. And in their notebooks, they would already have this written down, and they would write if they know it, if they maybe know it, or they have no idea what it is. And I said, absolutely no is you absolutely know how to use it. You could use it in a sentence. You know the definition of it. Maybe they know it would be maybe they could put it in a sentence. They weren't exactly sure what it was, but they might have heard it in the past. And then the minus sign is I have no idea, which means they do not know the definition. They cannot use it in the sentence. They have no idea what it means. Moving on to the next slides, we start going through the vocabulary words. So this definition piece here is not here right away. This is once you click it through. So, and the picture isn't there either. So it would just be the word. We would discuss whether or not they knew the word, kind of going through the background knowledge of what they had. Then I showed the picture, and then they have a discussion on what they think the shallow means. And then we go through the definition together. Certain times we would just write the definition together. Other times I would have the definition for them, just depending on how complex I wanted the vocabulary piece to be. So as I go through, you can see that each one has a visual along with the definition of the word. So using these visuals was great in helping my CLD students be able to understand the vocabulary terms. Next, we always had a making connections piece. And as you can see here, it's talking about cause and effect relationship and having a discussion on how one of the relationships in the text would have a cause and effect relationship. Here we do a little cause and effect activity. And then we have our reading, and then we go into our team talk questions, which is our discussion comprehension piece. So what I had here is we have the question, which is whales and dolphins often come to the surface because, and then we have the question stem, which is whales and dolphins, ... So I have the word surface highlighted here because that is one of our vocabulary words, which is focusing on that academic language. So in their question, STEM, they need to use the word surface. So whales and dolphins come to the surface because. So we're really focusing on that complete sentences as well as using that academic language. So during this, we've been working on the brick and mortar words, which the surface would be a brick word. And then the mortar words would be like often. So if they don't know what often means, they're not going to be able to complete the sentence. So we're really working on those words, making sure that the kids understand those brick and mortar words so that they can have a deep, complex answer to this question. So moving on, we have what causes plankton to be so important to ocean life. And this is our write-on. So they would be writing in their journals. So here, causes would be a mortar word. So if they don't know what causes means, then they're not going to be able to complete this sentence. So we are working on causes. If I go down here, the stem would be what causes plankton to be so important. So the stem would be plankton is so important to ocean life because. Tell how algae and plants are similar. Then they need to make their own stem here using understanding the word what similar is. Another team talk. What is not true about ocean life? Go through and decide what one is not true. Another making connections. And then that would be the end of our 90-minute class.